And also options for opting out, which you can't do on many platforms. There was some press about how it is that Facebook was sort of cooking the books on how much visual information is more important than any other kind of information. Did you read about
so
that?
If you follow media journalists about anything or like that, about a year ago, a lot of different outlets, everything from MTV to The Atlantic to Wall Street Journal, everybody was kind of talking about this pivot to video. Because Facebook analytics has shown that video gets much higher engagement, and if you want to reach readers and you want to get more ad revenue, you need to have more video than print. So a lot of writers were getting laid off, and a lot of companies were saying we're slashing these budgets and we're moving to something that's more lucrative, something with a better return on investment. And it just came out in the last 2 weeks that Facebook had basically known that this was false, and they kind of cooked these analytics to say that video is what gets more engagement, and therefore if you invest more, if you create more resources to put more of your work on Facebook in a video form, then that will equal more readership and more revenue for the newspapers.
They cooked those books?
They cooked those books. It was completely false analytics.
Isn't it because they can make more money on the advertisements for the videos? And I've also heard that there's a big problem with Facebook stealing videos from other platforms.
That is true. I mean, I don't think you can attribute that particular thing to Facebook. It's just kind of the nature of the program that people just kind of take stuff and put it on Facebook without attribution. But it definitely is the case they make more money from videos.
Yeah.
They get, because chances are if you're reading an article and it's kind of this long, in-depth journalistic, investigative report, you're going to click through to the actual website that you're reading it on. Or it's going to take you away from the Facebook platform. You're going to go read more of the newspaper. If you're on a video, you'll stay in there. You'll stay in that native platform. You'll kind of keep engaging in Facebook and comment there and all these kind of other things. And so for Facebook, it was clearly a one-sided decision that just benefited them. But that had ramifications across, the media landscape, where now, if you look at the wave recently of a lot of news shops are starting to unionize, because in the wake of things like this, where Facebook can say one thing and all of a sudden 30% of your staff is going to get laid off. You don't have a union, you don't have any kind of worker protections. You're very vulnerable. And it's all unilaterally. It's Mark Zuckerberg and the team at Facebook saying, well, this is what's best for our company, and this is what's best for our sort of the engagement that they support, the behaviors that they want to cultivate.
It becomes the source of truth. Whatever Facebook says is the source of truth.
They're becoming. They're arbitrating that. And if you look even further,
they've obviously started to abuse that.
Beyond, way beyond.
In a huge way.
So when you brought up the whole crowdsourcing and how it kind of abuses some of the workers, we both read a book called Open Organization. Open Organization. It was by the CEO of Red Hat, and they were saying that
I haven't read it. I should read it.
Written in the past year or two. So his organization, they do a lot of open source. That's why I have such an open source mindset. So what he talks about is one of the things that he brought up, where it's that crowdsourcing. There creates a lot of Tom Sawyer interactions where it's you ask someone to do something and you get them very excited about it, and then they paint the fence, but they don't actually benefit from it at all. And then to shift from that Tom Sawyer mentality to an open source mentality, where everyone is contributing kind of out of their own free time, but everything that they're contributing, they're able to see and they're able to get the data on, and they're able to take it and then change it and use it how they want.
Exactly.
Unlike with the Facebook, a lot of it is one-sided. It's we put things on the platform, but we don't, and they can do a lot with it, but we don't benefit as producers of the content as much. And I mostly wanted to bring up the Tom Sawyer aspect.
So if you guys are starting a competing media platform, what type of considerations would you make that you think other people are completely missing the boat on?
Wow.
Ask the question again.
You're creating a Facebook competitor, what would you want to make sure you incorporate that you think would make all the people who are upset of what was in the Facebook terms they didn't know about kind of convert to your platform and start shifting their attention?
Well, exactly. Open source.
But the transparency would be, it spans on forever. You're looking at not just the ways you interact with this competing platform, but how does that data follow you around the internet, right? The shadow profile that Facebook creates of every user, even if you don't have a profile, it creates a sense of who you are and that follows you. So that my mom was telling me the other day that she wants to get rid of her cell phone because she's tired of. She feels like she talks about something, and then she'll start seeing ads. She'll talk about donuts and start seeing ads for donuts. And I'm like, Mom, that doesn't actually happen. But what's probably happening is she's on Facebook, she's on another platform, and she's interacting with these certain kind of ads or interacting with certain kind of content, and then she goes and clicks around other places and it follows her around. And so there's no transparency. Facebook has introduced some very, very, very limited kind of controls where you can kind of see the advertisers that are kind of associated with your profile, right? Or the kind of content that they think that you want to engage with. And you can opt out of it to a certain extent, but that's 1% of what they collect on you. And that's 1% of what they actually enact and how they construct it to follow you around the internet and influence how you interact with people in your timeline, people that you don't know, other websites, vendors, whoever. So if you're going to build a competitor, the way you start with it is, like you said, transparency. Just letting people know this is all. If you knew how much data they're collecting on you, would never touch Facebook again.